Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Sports Corner. Rich Estrella, along with John Conti. Joining us tonight will be Dan Davidson of Western High School. And John, it's finally here, man. This is what everybody's been waiting for. They are actually going to let the Preps sports team start playing now. Isn't that great?
Well, it is.
They've been breaking their hearts all season long. First they're going to play, then they're not going to play. Then there's a possibility of a season, then it's just all taken away. And finally, they're going to get to actually slide under the tag and get some stuff going. So we're going to talk real quick with Davidson. But let's clear up a few things, John. Last week we were making fun of the Jet fans because they were actually saying Russell Wilson's going to the Jets. We were playing on it. But the truth be told, this quarterback carousel in the NFL this year, John, is far from over, including Wilson. But one positive thing I saw this week about Wilson is one of the teams on his wish trade list is to go to the Raiders, John, your favorite team.
Well, first of all, Rich, that's your team, your Oakland, Los Angeles, Las Vegas Raiders.
Thank you, John.
America's Raiders,
Thank you, John.
as you like to call them.
Absolutely.
Look, first of all, there's been a lot of rumors out there that Russell Wilson could go to the San Francisco 49ers. That'll never happen. They would never trade him within division number one.
Absolutely.
Number two, he already threw his demands out there. There were 4 teams that he listed. Miami Dolphins was one of them. The Jets was another. And, of course, your Raiders was also a team on that list, Rich. I think him going to the Jets makes the most sense because they've got the second most amount of cap space. Look, anywhere Russell Wilson goes, he's going to turn that team into a winning team. The Jets have a lot of cap space, and he's in New York, so he's going to be going to the largest media market in the country. I think the Jets actually do make sense for Russell Wilson.
So what are you saying? You're saying that Russell Wilson has the same type of powers that Tom Brady has, that he could just go to a franchise and turn it around instantly?
Well, absolutely. Look, Russell Wilson is a phenomenal quarterback, and he hasn't had an offensive line to protect him for a number of years. We always see Russell Wilson scrambling around in the pocket, making things happen. Can you imagine if Russell Wilson went to a team that had the cap space to actually put an offensive line in front of him, how much better he would be? It would preserve his legs. He wouldn't be taking hits. That's his whole problem in Seattle, Rich. He's sick and tired of being picked up off the ground. They have not put an offensive line in front of him for years, and he's sick and tired of it, and he wants to move on. And quite frankly, he deserves to move on because he's a darn good quarterback.
I don't know. That offense with Russell Wilson running for his life every play seems to be working. They got to a couple of Super Bowls that way. They should have won the second one. I think it works fine for him. Why would they want to get rid of that? He's used to it, John. It's comfy.
Look, he knows how to play when he's running around. They call it backyard sandlot football. But that's going to get the guy injured. That's going to get the guy killed. Isn't it better to go out there and have a set play? You've got your 3 reads. You can hit your target. That guy never has a chance to look at his second read because he's got people in his face. They have done him a disservice by not giving him an offensive line. That's the reason why they don't, get to the Super Bowl. They haven't been there they haven't even been to a conference championship in years. So no offensive line, no championship.
Yeah, that's true. They've been converting a lot of different types of people. They've been converting tight ends, big wide receivers, all kinds of people to play on that offensive line. One thing about linemen, you must have feet. You must have good feet. And that's why they go after some guys that actually have some dance moves like tight ends and converting them, and even defensive ends and converting them into offensive linemen. But I don't understand why Pete Carroll and the guys in Seattle, the Brain Trust, don't go after some good offensive linemen. It just doesn't make any sense. I don't know if...
You actually answered your question, Rich. Why should they when you got Russell Wilson who can run around and make things happen? So
it's worked for them.
So they might be stepping back saying, look, we got Russell Wilson. He can run around. We've got DK Metcalf. He's, 6'8" with a wingspan of, 100 yards. He can grab anything that, Russell Wilson throws. And look, you always see Russell Wilson at his best when he's being pressured because the coverage cannot hold those guys that long. But that shouldn't be a strategy, Rich. That should be a last resort.
No, it should be a strategy because it's worked for Seattle. You can't defend it. You can't guard every lane, John. Once he rolls out, everything opens up. It doesn't
matter.
But
those guys haven't been back to the Super Bowl since the whole debacle against New England. So again, that team has taken a downward spiral. The Legion of Boom is not the Legion of Boom anymore.
Gone.
It hasn't been for quite some time. So yeah, they've got great wide receivers and they've got Russell Wilson. I don't think they have much more than that.
Well, they did lose Richard Sherman and a couple other guys. Their linebacking core. I mean, they just didn't try to keep anybody. They really didn't. And I don't blame Wilson for trying to get out. I think for him, it's all about getting a big payday. He's already got his championship rings. He's been to the bowl a couple of times. So his what do you call it? The legacy they're all worried about these days is already set. He'll be a Hall of Famer at some point. But I think for him right now it's a money grab. I think it's a money grab for all these other guys. They saw the kind of money Mahomes got, and Mahomes is just going to be in the middle of the pack. He's going to be an upper echelon in the middle of the pack, but he's still going to be there at the end of the day. There's going to be other guys coming up, going to want more money. This thing never stops. It just continues to escalate. But they do see a lot of money on the table, John, and I really don't blame them for trying to get it. It's just the way they're going about it. All these guys think they're Tom Brady now, that they can just go to another franchise because they started somewhere else and become a champion. That ain't going to happen. There's only one Tom Brady.
Well, also, too, when you get drafted by the Seattle Seahawks, you've never had an opportunity to explore free agency. So you've never really been in the building of another team. You've never seen the philosophies of their franchise. So a lot of these guys, whether they return to their current team or not, they still want to go out. They still want to test the free agent waters. A lot of these guys get courted, nice fancy dinners. I don't know if that's happening now with COVID going on. But look, these guys still want to explore it. They have a right to explore it. And if I was Russell Wilson, I'd definitely try to get my way out of Seattle because I do not see them continuing to win by, getting lucky with these freak plays and Russell Wilson running all over the place. One hit, they're done, and their backup quarterback's not going to come in and be able to spell Russell Wilson. It's impossible.
Is it a freak play, John, or is that just the offense?
It would look. Would you want your franchise quarterback running his head off? Would you not invest some money in getting him an offensive line? If he wants to run his head off because he has to, do it. But every play for them seems to be out of desperation.
Here's the difference between being a running quarterback and running for your life in the backfield behind the line of scrimmage. Is once you can easily run outside the hash and throw it away. Everybody has to stop. Number one. Number two, you can slide. They won't hit you, so you're fine. So Russell Wilson, by playing the way he does, by rolling out, he buys a lot of time. He creates a lot of chaos out in the secondary because you can't stand him that long, John. People are going to get open. The field opens up when the quarterback starts running. He has the option to run, but he's not really running the ball. He's not really running downfield trying to make things happen. He's rolling out looking to make things happen with his arm. So I don't think he's taking the kind of hits that you might be thinking. I think his hits are a lot slower because he is pretty much in a crowd when he gets hit most of the time. But again, I just think it works. It works for Seattle. That's just their offensive game plan. You got a quarterback that can roll and throw, use him. It wasn't going to work with Andrew Luck. He can't run. And it won't work with Ben Roethlisberger. He can't run. He can't run and throw. Those guys are drop-back passers.
Well, the league is about athletic quarterbacks right now. Look at some of these guys that have been drafted. You got, of course, Patrick Mahomes. You have Josh Allen. You have guys that are just physical, athletic freaks. So, yeah, can those guys do more things? Absolutely. But when you have a guy that's constantly running around in the pocket, he's going to take a hit. He could get injured. So the whole point of this is Seattle needs to invest in an offensive line to protect their franchise, protect their best player, and that's Russell Wilson.
All right, we're going to get back. We're going to add Coach Davidson to this conversation. I believe Carlos Pena is standing by with us. Let's add these guys in. Also going to let everybody know you're going to take phone calls tonight. How you doing, guys? All right. There.
How about yourself?
Carlos, you talk way too much, man. You stepped all over Davidson. The poor guy was trying to say something. And how dare you? You know better. You got etiquette in this broadcast business, brother. Anyways, there's Coach Davidson. He is on the bottom left. And, Coach, I hear you're out in Florida right now. You're in some sleazy motel out there. How's it going? I understand you are interviewing right now for a Florida Gator job.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm out here. Tired of waiting for all this high school stuff to get started. So I just thought I would try to find a way to make my other stuff get a little bit bigger with my brand.
There you go. You're the man. Coach Davidson is actually in Florida. What are you doing out in Florida, Coach?
Daughter's playing for a national championship in volleyball.
Wow, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah, plays for Apex One Volleyball. She loves it. It's a great program, and she's going to go on and play college ball. And so this is their last little chance to go to Junior Olympics.
All right.
So I'm trying to qualify.
I thought John was lying John was filling me in when I got in here, and I thought he was lying about that. But way to go, John. You finally said something.
That's the truth. I finally said something that was right. Hey, Coach, so are they playing with their masks on in these volleyball tournaments? Because I know here in Southern California, they're actually playing with masks on, and it's kind of funny because you got the mask over their eyes. And, I mean, what are they doing?
Southern California, they play. We've been in tournaments all in Southern California, and they play with masks on. In Florida, they are not. In the convention center, they test each. I don't want to say test. They do. They check each kid coming in with their temperature and stuff like that. If you're out, you have your mask on, but while you're actually playing, you don't. They don't have their mask on. So, but most of the time, they play with their masks on.
That was something that I laughed at, Coach, because last week we were talking about basketball, and I'm like, these guys are breathing on each other, they're spitting on each other. Then they run to the sidelines and put a mask on. So this whole thing to me is, do you wear a mask? Do you not wear a mask? But thank you for clarifying that, because I was just curious, because, again, in California, they're wearing the masks around their eyes while they're playing, and they're flying all over the place. So I can't imagine it's too comfortable for those players.
Anything to get on the courts, though, whether it be volleyball, football, basketball. I think we'd go over any protocol they would ask us to do to give a chance to go out and perform.
Now, Coach, you got good news this week. They're going to start letting you guys play. You guys are actually going to get to play some football. Practices are actually going to mean something now. There's no more gray area. It's just let's get it on. What do you know? What do you say?
Well, you said it best. We're actually really preparing. And so we're preparing now for a season. So we start on helmets on Monday. Put in our hours there, then we get full gear, and we have a scrimmage on the 12th against Esperanza High School, and then we play a 5-week schedule, all of our league games. Some schools even got started as early as Tuesday, so they got a 6-game schedule.
Wow.
So we're going to be tested each week. Every Monday you get tested, and you need to be tested in order to participate at practice. Not only the players, but the coaches and anyone a part of it. They don't have all the details about how they're going to work out the attendance piece of it. Some of them are talking about maybe some day games, and then they're working out the details of how many people can come to the game. So maybe 2 to 4 tickets per family, and make it family type of situation like that, and try to cap the number and see what they can do.
Yeah, I mean, anything to get on the field, anything to play, that's the bottom line. These athletes work out. I was talking to somebody on the way up, and we were talking about how much extra work your typical athlete puts in after regular school. I mean, everybody studies, right? Everybody goes to school, does their time, but when you got extracurricular and you put in a lot more time, it's just too hard to say no to these guys to get out there and apply their craft.
Yeah, we'll say 3 hours a day, and because that's what we do with our weight room and conditioning and skill work and stuff like that. But these kids are going out on the weekends and putting hours and hours out there, whether it's quarterback, throwing the ball, or wide receivers running routes. They have speed trainers. These guys have put in so much time and so much effort. So for them to be taken away, that would have been pretty devastating, especially when you see the amount of hours. We're not talking about a pickup sport where people do it, seasonal or something like this. Football is a dedication that takes year-round training, and the guys put in it. And 95% of those kids will never play again after high school.
Yep.
So they're learning so many things about competing and playing in football that isn't anything to do with the actual game itself. It's the dedication and the things that it takes to be successful. So whether you're a lawyer, a police officer, whatever avenue that you end up going into, it's going to take great effort in order to reach some of your goals. And that's why I love football so much, because it teaches those things.
And Coach, if I may, football is the ultimate team sport. We can draw parallels to anything in life through football. You've got 11 guys on each side. They all have to do their job. So, having this little shortened season, how do you keep these kids on task to get out there and just do their job and be natural about it?
And it's tough, as a coach, a football coach, and it's tough saying that about other sports, but I don't think they have any idea how many hours we put in to watch film, and why it's so important to have film on another team and knowing what they're trying to do, whether it be the run plays, the pass plays, what things that they do. The preparation is not just for the coach. The preparation for every single player. And it's not, you said it way better than I did. It's every player going against the one person in front of him, but then turns into the all 11. And so at every given time, all 22 players have to be completely bought in on both sides of the ball. And so it is the ultimate team sport, because if any one person does the wrong thing, that play will be either successful or a failure. And it is the ultimate sport. So, that's a challenge. And I think the team ultimately that can overcome those challenges will have the best seasons. Conditioning is going to be a major part of it. Who was really conditioning, who was really doing the the things necessary compared to just putting in the X's and O's. And hopefully my players can overcome the shortcomings that I am as a coach, and they can still come through for us.
Yeah, but as far as being a coach, I mean, don't sell yourself short, because when you took that program over, there were some issues there, and you've just done such a great job there. So I'm sure all those gentlemen on that field appreciate you. Man, it's certainly exciting that you're going to be playing soon. I can't believe it. We weren't sure what was going to happen, and here it is.
Coach, we were already relegated to wait until next September. Figured they would start you guys fresh.
Yeah, and a lot of us did too. And thank you for the kind words, but a lot of people talk about family and inside of what they're trying to build inside of a program. We have a genuine love and respect for each other. And so the amount of time and effort that I put in, the players see that, and we come together. And so the success is coming from what we're building is how hard we work as a unit. And so that ultimate team package comes in there. And I'm very proud of that. I'm proud of what we built, not so much of being success on the field, but off the field and inside our community and even inside the classroom. And it feels great for me, for the other teachers to say that they have a football player in their classroom and they know good things are going to come from that.
Well, I know you guys are looking forward to the scrimmage. I think everybody's looking forward to playing. Any leagues not going that you know of yet? Anybody not stepping up and not going to play? Has any districts just said no?
I have not. Remember,
Heard of any?
if someone's going to pull out, they're not going to come out right when it's hot, right? So everyone's pumped and excited. I think some people may come into, when you get into testing, remember, I started this, I told you we're going to test every week. And so you have to be tested every week before you practice, and how those things are going to come. And then if you do have someone positive, how are you going to maneuver that? And what, did you still stay in your quorum? One of the things we had in our meeting with our coaches a couple of days ago was, even though we get started, we're still going to have our groups. We're going to try to maintain those groups in case we do have someone come up with COVID positive, that we can have a tracking and we wouldn't wipe everyone out. So we're being very cautious with the entire approach. I use the LeBron James as an example, and I don't want to jinx it from him, but you see how many people in football or all the people in basketball getting coming up positive, but how come Tom Brady's not positive? How come LeBron James isn't positive? Because the actions that they take every day of their life, they are not going to put themselves in a vulnerable situation. And I believe that is why some of those names like that don't come up positive.
And you're right. Look, this all comes down to personal choices. And look, I mean, like if you're going to go out and you're going to go to one of those super spreader events, I mean, what do you expect? I think we all have to be socially responsible. Do what we're supposed to do, wear your mask, do your social distancing. But look, there are going to be people that defy those rules as well. So I'm with you, Coach. I think if you take a page out of LeBron James' book and just be personally accountable, you're going to help everybody else, and we're going to hopefully get past this sooner than later.
Right. And we could all go to the grocery store or something and end up getting it. But it's just amazing to me that those guys who do it the right way, and whether you're a LeBron fan or not, it doesn't matter. The guy walks, he's a good father. He's a good husband. He speaks out for his beliefs. He tries to support youth programs and, again, started another school. So guys like that, is it ironic that they don't come up positive? And so that's what I talked about with my team. Are you guys going to come up and hang out? You guys going to go up after the game and do something silly that's going to end up costing? Because I guarantee it, Rich, you write it down. There's going to be programs that shut down because they come up with COVID tests, and they're going to lose most of the games. And that's what we're going to try to avoid here at Western.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Coach, we haven't talked since the Super Bowl, at least not on the air. Were you surprised at the way Tom Brady finished out his inaugural season with Tampa Bay?
The only surprise is how long it took him to get going, because leaked out. He's an ultimate team guy. And so it leaked out that he was texting the guys the entire week, every single night, we will win. And I think when you get it, all he had to do was get inside the dance. And then his experience is going to take over. And those experiences are exactly what we're talking about, are how you're going to overcome the obstacles. And sometimes it's not always the best team. They could have easily lost in the divisional game. But how do they continually keep coming into success? And I think sometimes you can drive guys and will guys into success. And I believe that that's a success that he had with him. And again, you just admire guys that can take an entire franchise. One of the stats you see about Tampa Bay is that they have the worst win percentage of all sports.
In the history of pro
not just
sports.
in the history of pro sports. He goes there in 1 year. They're going to they're winning a Super Bowl.
A lot of it comes down to mindset. The team's got to have that right mindset and someone to lead them in that. It just, you've got to have the right person in charge there, and that mindset, that's where it starts for any club or any sport whatsoever.
Right, and as a coach, that you need that player on the field that is believes in your message, right? So they obviously believe in the message of the coach, which then goes over to Tom Brady, and when Tom Brady says it and agrees with the coach, it has an amazing thing. Anthony Munoz was so much more to us than just a good quarterback. What he was is his standards were so high that he constantly made everyone else's standards high. So as he has a 4.6 grade point average, and he's on every club on campus and doing link crew and the boys state and ASB, doing all the things, and never missed a workout, never missed a weight session. So those things, that's how championships happen. They don't happen just by what the coach might be saying or doing. It happens by the players buy-in, and he takes over a program and he adds to it. And that's why, hey man, it's a player's game. We all know that. And that's one of the things I say all the time coaching is, hey, I don't want to get involved in your talent. You be talented. Just try to go hard. Do the best thing that you can.
I think with Tom Brady, he had the big advantage of being the dog. In other words, I mean, he can walk on that team, and who's going to say that, well, I'm not going to listen to you. My career's been better than yours, so why should I listen to you? I mean,
we know about.
Well, he already carries that aura with him, so no matter where he goes, he's going to automatically change the team. He can go to a different team next year. It's just the aura he carries with him. Any team he can change, just like that on dime.
Well, obviously in California, we just went through Tiger Woods having a tough accident. That's the aura of the Tiger Woods, right? Like when we were all watching Tiger Woods golf, what happens if when he was a leader, no one ever beat him. So when he came into the leading one of the majors, everyone would freak out and they couldn't do it. So that aura, just like you said, Rich, perfect. He does have an aura, and Tom Brady has an aura, and LeBron James has an aura, and Tiger Woods did for a while, and people could not beat them. And you would watch sometimes, and no one would even shoot over par. They were just so intimidated by Tiger. They were going up against Tiger, they couldn't get it done.
yeah.
After the Super Bowl, if you notice, after the Super Bowl, if you notice, you had all the Tampa Bay Buccaneers players running up to Tom saying, "Thank you for having me, Tom. Thank you for having me." That was something that just kind of stuck out in my mind. I mean, it really goes to show you that, Tom Brady he's more than just a player. He's a coach on the field. He's an influencer.
Motivator.
That guy has taken less money throughout his career to have less talent, and they still win. But let's not forget, he takes really, really, really good care of his body. He's a big advocate on, getting the proper amount of sleep. He's a big advocate on nutrition. And Coach, that goes right back to what you said. Taking care of yourself in all aspects is going to make you better mentally and physically, and that is the aura that he carries with him. He's 52 years old. He looks like he's Benjamin Button. He's going backwards.
He's actually 43, John.
Same difference, Rich.
Just like Russell Wilson's going to the Jets.
Coach, I think there's someone in that shower behind you. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, who stepped out? Keeps poking their head out of the shower's room there.
What's going on behind you in that shower, Coach?
Look, you're going to get him in trouble.
If you guys tell me that in my hotel room, I'm going to be a little nervous.
I'm going to be getting out of there.
I'm just picturing Psycho right now, man. That looks a little crazy behind you.
Oh, man.
I just watched the what was that, the Hotel Cecil or something like that.
Oh, yeah, the Cecil Hotel in Los Angeles.
Yeah, don't say something's going on back there, because I'm going to have to go get a new room.
Oh, my God. Were you watching like that Snap Network throwing about the Cecil or whatever? But
It's awesome.
All the scandalous stuff that goes down at the Cecil. Oh, my God. Carlos, is that where you are right now at the Cecil?
No, that's not where I'm at. I'll stay away from that. No, thank
Oh,
you.
my God. There are some crazy
Listen,
we could do a whole show on the Cecil.
I've been by that hotel a few times in L.A. and
You've been in it, Rich. We know that.
It's nothing like the Morrison Hotel, let me tell you right now, John. Nothing.
Don't be hanging out at the
I got
Cecil.
I got a question for you. How do you guys think, with everything that's going on right now with COVID and this, what I call this gap that we have, almost, a year and a half, almost, whatever it is,
Yeah.
Do you guys think we're going to see that somewhere along the lines into the pros, where we'll have a gap in athletic
No,
performance or athletes or anything like that?
no, it'll never happen. It'll never, unless there's a real pandemic where lots of people are really dying. I mean, like 1% of the population instead of just like a sliver of a percentage of 1%. Maybe that would happen, but not in this type of thing. No way. The almighty buck is still greater than the pandemic.
What about the Olympics? Don't we have the Olympics coming up?
Hall of Famer Bob Russo from Rutgers University earlier this week, and we got to talking about that. And part of the fear was that he's going to have a gap of players coming to his school or to his combine. And how do you backfill that? So, is it going to lead into anything else?
I don't think so.
I would say it continually go on, just like high school football was going to go away. And so what happened was the club football scene came on, right? So our numbers across the board in high school is going to has and will continue to take some major hits, but there will always be an outlet. So if you do take it away or you do try to start having different issues with it, then there'll be something else that pops up, because like Rich said, there's always going to find a way. But and we got to remember, over 500,000 people did die during this pandemic, yet they still found a way. Football started when they said they're going to start, and finished the Super Bowl when they said they're going to finish the Super Bowl. So if you go about things the right way, I think you can always overcome.
Part of the big thing I'm seeing right now in high schools is that it's a mad dash, and some of the smaller schools are hurting pretty bad because they have to share athletes. So right now you got track, volleyball, softball, baseball going on,
football, 7
different sports going on. Goodness, small schools are going to be hurting pretty bad with athletes.
Hey, Carlos, how are you going to officiate all that?
I'm not.
All right, just throw it out at you.
Neither is anybody else.
Yeah. It's going to be tough.
What's actually happening, a lot of the leagues up here are just calling it. They're just calling it. Soccer, for example, in one league, the Agave League, there's 3 schools left, and of those 3, they want to go co-ed because they don't have enough players to make a boys and girls team. So, and on top of that, what are you going to do in 3 months in a sport like soccer where conditioning takes 2 months? It's not going to happen.
Yep, I agree. Hey, Coach, not to change the subject, but Tiger Woods did go to Western High School, and I'm sure that accident you guys heard this week was a little shocking, more so than maybe other schools. What do you think about what happened to Tiger, man?
Well, yes, of course. We had all the news people, news channels come up to Western High School. Anytime something happens with Tiger Woods, that does go on. And so he's definitely something very important to our school, and it has the Tiger Woods Center there in Anaheim. And that doesn't only help the Western High School, but it helps the entire Anaheim Union High School district. And so it's a great reach out for him. And it's scary. We just lost Kobe Bryant, a year ago. And then when something like this happens with Tiger, you realize how fragile life really is. And that's why you want to maximize those moments that you have. And we really tried to get our group together and talk about Tiger and talk about Kobe and how things happen. And that's why you got to make great decisions at all times, right? And we don't know what's going on. I was so glad and loved that he wasn't on any type of drugs or drinking or things like that, because that's what everyone's going to immediately point to. And for accidents just happen to good people. And Tigers has done so many wonderful things, not only with Western High School, but our district. And I know he'll continually keep doing those things.
And for the sport of golf, he really did bring it to the forefront and bring it into the minority communities, which lacked it. Let's face it, you got to have a few bucks to golf, right? It's not like playing soccer or baseball where, the fields are there, play,
I don't think anybody has done what he did for his sport. I mean, look, when I was in high school, nobody wanted to golf. I mean, it just wasn't cool. It was what your grandfather did. He has transcended the golf game for everybody. I mean, Tiger Woods made it cool to go grab some golf clubs and go play. I've never seen anybody be such an influencer on his sport ever. I mean, he could be the biggest influencer, period, when it comes to golf.
Well, how many of us checked to see if Tiger was in the running, and then if he was, then we would have watched that weekend. If he wasn't in the running, I didn't tune in and watch golf. And I watched a lot less golf these last few years compared to the 10, 15 years
He
ahead.
wasn't wearing his red shirt. Nobody's watching.
Yep. No red shirt, no watch.
Yeah, I mean, he's just such an incredible athlete. That's another guy that, keeps his body fine-tuned and takes good care of himself. And look, the thing with Tiger Woods is he's at Senior Sinai Hospital. We know that he's going to get the absolute best medical care. And the last report I read said he had a rod placed in his legs, some screws in his ankles. I mean, we don't know officially what happened or what they did, but at the end of the day, we just need to pray for Tiger. And look, if anybody can come through and pull out of this, it's going to be him. And after what we went through with Kobe, I'm just so thankful he's alive to talk about this.
No doubt.
I think Kobe. I mean, Tiger Woods. After all this, he'll come back, but I think he's going to give a lot more to the community and the youth, and kind of turn things around for himself. And we'll see what kind of physical, if he's physically fit to be able to keep playing, golf, especially with that tremendous swing. That's why he has, back problems, is all that torque. But I'd like to see him come back and turn around and do something for communities and kids and keep it going.
Well, it's funny. He was doing a ton of stuff for kids, a ton of stuff. And let's not forget, his son is a little prodigy. So he really does a ton for the community. And Carlos, I'm with you. I just want him to get back so he can be there for the youth and be there for his son, because his son's a little stud out on the golf course. And if you've noticed Tiger over the last, 7, 8 months a year, he's kind of become a lot more personable. Like, you see him smiling, you see him in little selfie videos with people. Yep. He's become just much more personal. He went through all of the stuff that he went through. That's behind him. And I think now he's matured and he's just ready to be the best Tiger and just live the best life he can. And so we just all need to pray that he gets back soon.
You know what's interesting is the way we look at this whole thing is the first thing you want to know is he okay? He's not severely injured or gravely injured. So we go from there, and then it's like, what's the extent, and is he going to be able to come back from this? And that's kind of where we're at right now. It's great that he's fine in terms of his mental health. He wasn't gravely injured, but his wheels are bad right now, and he just got over having a bad knee, had some surgeries, and now nobody really knows the extent of his leg injuries, except he did have compound fracture. We don't know if the other leg was crushed or not, which makes it even more difficult to come back from. But just the fact that he's okay, his legacy's in place. If he were never to play golf again, everybody would say he was one of the greatest of all time. So what more can be said about you? I would be satisfied with that. And let's face it, he's not going to need money to help himself get by if he were having severe issues with his legs, because he's well off.
But I think it might be a mental thing for him. I think he might just want to come back just to make sure he can get out there.
No, I'm not saying it's over.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm just saying that's where we're at as the outsiders looking in, the fans.
But Rich and Carlos said it.
It kind of seems we're at that point.
Well,
It kind of seems we're at that point where a lot of athletes are starting to move on.
Carlos is going to say it again.
In fact, Serena Williams looks like she's getting ready to move on and give up the old tennis court there too.
Sorry, Dan.
Really,
Carlos.
That's
Go ahead,
okay.
Dan.
Carlos, what you're really saying there is you and John, where he can still give back if he can't come back and compete and maybe win on the PGA Tour. There's other ways to come back, and I totally agree. I think he's become more personable, and I think he's opened his eyes about giving more and more, and he's put those things behind him that was troubling before, and you can see him looking for his son and hugging him after the first win and starting to realize the value of family and what is most important. And so there's so many ways that he can get back to the game if he's not there. Kind of like how Jack Nicklaus is doing, took that role on, and I think that's something Tiger Woods can do. And he'll end up on the senior circuit or something in time, but continually give back and open up doors for other people to let it know that it's cool to be on the golf team. And hopefully those are the things that happen.
I wish I'd joined the golf team. I'm terrible. My game is just terrible. But I try.
Jed's trying to golf out of a book. He puts it right there, has his little stand there, and just looks at it, practices his swing, John, that's the way to go, though.
But I do have a hole-in-one, and it really upsets a lot of folks that I golf with.
It's a hole-in-one, but miniature golf hole-in-one
Get
does not
out of
count.
here.
No, it's miniature
I've
golf,
got witnesses,
John.
Rich. I've got witnesses.
Golf and stuff, dude. Come on. Be serious.
I've got witnesses. Hey, are we taking phone calls or tonight?
Yeah, put up the number, and we can go ahead and solicit some phone calls. Of course, we're talking with Dan Davidson, and Carlos Pena was here. Now he's gone for now. he's up in the cheap seat, so, his connection may not be that good, John. Coach Davidson is across the country in Florida. He just got done interviewing for the Florida Gators job. Here he's a front runner. Urban Meyer didn't say too many good things about you, Coach. I think he's afraid you're going to win more national championships than he did, and that could be a problem. And you know, watch, everybody's going to be on Davidson tomorrow because they're going to say, hey, I heard you applied for the Florida job. You're in there interviewing. It's happened, Coach. We always say nefarious stuff on this show about our guests, and they get in trouble. What?
Well, last week Rich said Russell Wilson's going to the Jets. And we looked at him like, that'll never happen. And then the next day, the reporter, Russell Wilson could go. So we don't, whatever Rich says, we just nod our head and just kind of go with it. Someone, was it Carlos? I don't know where Carlos went, but he said, hey, what are we going to talk about tonight? We just started laughing. We never know what we're going to talk about on this show.
We don't know where it's going to go. So,
yeah. I'm trying to read off the teleprompter, but it's going too fast. So I don't know.
We have a teleprompter in here?
Yeah, it's right over there.
We do not. What's wrong with you? All right, let's move on real quick. Number 213-283-7798. Give us a call. Talk a little sports. The first time we're taking calls. Haven't done it.
Could be a disaster.
I did have a few people text me privately going, you're not really going to take calls on that show, are you? And it's like, you don't know what you're asking. Well, we know what we're asking for. We've already been here. All right, we've been doing this for a while.
Rich, you broke some ground barriers before, so you take.
Yeah, I did. Well, we were the first ones to do it in Southern California back in the 80s. We were the first ones to do it back in, I believe, 82, where it was taking them on TV, and it was crazy. Then we had everybody trying to copy it, and you have to do it right in order to do it. So, And
I believe it's going to come back. One of these Friday nights, start taking in scores on Friday night and have people call in, put their score in. Some top performers, get that stuff back in. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Well, I think once football season starts, I don't know if we'll do it now, but probably starting in next September, maybe even August, we'll come up live on Fridays. We'll do the prep thing. We'll have coaches, athletes, highlights, the whole deal here, and we'll galvanize the whole entire Southern California. We've done it a couple times before, and it works great, and we're looking forward to doing it again. Real quick, guys. Lakers. What's going on, dude? Everybody talks about LeBron's the greatest, LeBron this, LeBron that, but without Anthony Davis, as LeBron can't. Well, they've lost, 5 or 6, John? They're fading fast right now.
Well, look, we know Anthony Davis is such a huge piece of that team, but, Coach Davidson and I were talking off the air. They're missing Schroeder, too. So when you take out those two pieces, those are big, big, big pieces. So they're going to get Schroeder back. They're going to be fine. We know the Lakers are going to make the playoffs. Anthony Davis is going to need to rest for his 4 or 5 weeks so they can have him healthy and not dealing with this nagging injury. The Lakers are going to be fine. Coach, I also think you said it best. There's a lot of really good teams that are good regular season teams. When you get into the playoffs and you're facing a Laker team, good luck. I don't think you can beat them in a 7-game series.
Look at the Miami Heat. Check out the Miami Heat's record right now. They're below 500. They're like 10th in the East. And remember, the Lakers and the Heat were playing longer than everyone. They played weeks longer than every single
That's
team.
Right.
And the Lakers won a championship. And when the Bulls were winning those championships, it took them a while to get going. That's without a pandemic and all the stuff going on. This team was built for Anthony Davis, and then they brought in Schroeder as another playmaker with LeBron. There's no one that can create offense for the Lakers. Nobody can catch the ball and drive to the basket and create their own offense. When you start looking at the roster, it's like KCP is a great spot-up guy. Caruso is not really a guy that's going to come out and create every night. Kuzma is an energy guy, more of a catch and shoot. I'm glad he's rebounding and playing harder this year. But then, you got Gasol and Morris and KCP, and you start looking at these guys and like, how can anyone find a way to score? And that's really what's going on, and that's their offense too. So you take a major plug there.
Well, hold on a minute, guys. Let's get to a call. We got one here. I don't want to leave people hanging.
Got our first call coming in.
Hey, what's happening? You're on with Rich. You're in the Sports Corner.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. I don't know. We'll get some. Got to get some audio up in here, but go ahead.
Hey, what you guys doing right now? You got the one guy on the couch looks real comfortable in the blue little dress-up shirt.
What do you think of John? John looks very comfortable. John's always looking comfortable. That's just how John is, man.
I'm just chilling. I'm just chilling on the couch and enjoying my night here at the Lighthouse Escrow Studios. By the way, got to give a plug. Who do we have on the line, Rich?
Who are we talking to?
It's on Treats. I'm over here with Gerard. on a three-way phone call, but we was watching. I'm still I'm at work though.
Oh, you're at work right now. All right. Hey, so we're talking about what's going on with LeBron. How come the Lakers aren't doing much without Anthony Davis? Is he the real star of that team?
Yeah, I mean, Gerard likes the Lakers a lot more than I do. LeBron old, man. He played like he's the 40-year-old at the park around a bunch of middle school kids just run for things. You can't do that every game. And eventually it's going to take its toll, and the team doesn't know how to shoot. They didn't pick up shooters in the offseason. They got rid of shooters. They look disjointed. I don't know. Maybe they're smoking too much reefer. What am I supposed to do?
Well, John said they should have never got rid of Lonzo Ball. He said they would have Lonzo right now. They'd have a guy that can distribute the ball, and everything would be great.
Mellow Ball. We want Mellow Ball, not Lonzo
LaMelo.
Ball. That's who we want. We want LaMelo.
No. Hey, Gerard, what you think about that? I'm not a Lonzo fan, y'all. I'm over here right now. I had to leave my old job. I'm at Zoofly. Gerard watches more. I don't got cable, so I can't watch a lot of these games. But I can watch the one right now because it's on ESPN.
Right. And that's on regular TV, right?
So you have a question?
Yeah.
He's like, we got to
Yeah.
I'm right now.
I thought ESPN was cable.
Yeah.
I'll be right with you. Sorry about that. I'm on the phone.
All right, man.
Do you have a question or what's?
All right, Moncrief.
Gerard, you there? Yeah.
What's up, Gerard?
Well, I think, it's pretty simple. The only player that's going to take the Lakers to the championship this year is the bald Mamba. That's right. You heard it here first. Alex Caruso is the MVP of the Lakers. Give him the ball. Give him 48 minutes a game.
The bald Mamba?
Is this guy serious?
That's what he said, Caruso, man. You know what? He probably could play 48 minutes a game. Wilt played 48.2 minutes per game one season because he played in every minute of every game, including the overtime games. But may not be a bad idea. I mean, I'm not opposed to this. John, the Lakers aren't a skid.
Listen, man.
They've lost 5 of their last 6 games.
But the White Mamba, as you like to refer to Caruso, he just got a deal with Manscaped. I don't know if you guys saw that or not. And so he sits there and he shaves his head. I mean, he needed something like that because he's got an ugly looking head. So he's doing Manscaped commercials, and now according to this caller, he's going to be the Mamba Junior or the White Mamba or whatever he called him. Look, I wouldn't go that far with it.
He ain't got no hair. This doesn't make no sense.
He's doing Manscaped commercials now, so you can.
Well, that's why he has no hair, because he manscapes
He
very,
manscapes.
very short, very tight. Yes.
I got a question to y'all. Hey, Richard.
Yes.
You Manscaped?
Me and Gronk. Yeah.
Manscaped.
Yeah, sure.
I'm not talking about that. Is that like a? Oh, never mind.
I manscaped my sideburns before I came, my eyebrows. Yeah, I'm scaping, bro.
And then I want to ask the coach. Are y'all playing football this year? Because one of my neighbors down here. I'm from the shop, so I'm over here. I'm a little bit more west.
He's in the LA City section, Crenshaw, he's saying.
LA City ain't starting yet, and my neighbor's kid, 2 seasons, no football. Kid ain't gonna go to college. He's probably gonna end up working with me, and we don't need that. Is there an alternative? Are they gonna have games in the summer? I'm actually curious.
Coach Davidson, did you hear what he said?
I did. I do not know the city section's protocols yet. I know the LA Unified is started opening some football practice. They start on Monday as well. So maybe something's going to come down the line to you guys next week. I know they are part of the CIF sections as well. So it is a little bit different. But I would believe on Monday, as long as you go under 14% in your area, that you would have a chance to play.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, he's a good kid, man. That's Latrell. Latrell was 2 times not city section Division I, but he went to another school at Manual Arts. Really good player, really good ball player, but came back to the shop. He could have done something, but the thing with him, he plays too many video games, and now he's on TikTok all the time, always in the front yard, always on my grass. So for me, it's actually selfish. I want these kids to go back sooner than later, but you guys do a job. You guys play in the state, man. These high school kids, half of them don't even know left and right.
They got esports now. Esports, baby.
Esports. Well, I'll tell you, man, it's just crazy right now. I feel sorry for all the kids, wherever they've been. This is like the little light at the end of the tunnel right now. It's interesting to hear what's happening out in the Crenshaw area. Hey, I'd like to thank you guys for calling Gerard and was it Luttrell?
It's Montrese, man, but hey, it's all good, babe. One of my baby mama says what's up. She used to watch the whole show when y'all was on the radio. Sometimes she be calling in.
Yep.
We had overnight at the Angel Stadium.
Wow. Whoa.
You know, we over here, so y'all ever on the west side, come through Culver City. It's Juice World. We got everything we got. Little Bank shut down, so I no longer work there, but they sent me over to the other store. So I got your hookup, but I got to get going too. I had people waiting in line. I think they left, but I got to go.
Right on, Montreal. You take care. Thanks a lot. You too, Gerard. Be cool, brother.
I don't think his name was Montreal, was it?
Right on, right on.
That was the.
Actually, I believe that was Coach Anthony White. That was faking us all out. So that's who I'm going to go with. That phone call was.
No, I'll tell you why it was, because we didn't really hang out with Anthony White back when we were with the Angels. When we worked at Anaheim Stadium at the radio station there.
We had some crazy callers there. Look, there was one thing about Angel Stadium. We never, ever did a show without our phone banks just blowing up. We were coming on the air after the games.
Yeah.
So you already had people calling in Angel Talk and this, that, and the other. And then so we had a full bank of calls, when we went in there. And the calls just never stopped. And, I would say 99% of the time it wasn't about the Angels. It wasn't about baseball. We'd start talking about something else. And now we're talking football. And but we never had a show where the phone just didn't blow up.
The beauty of that show, we used to do it at Anaheim Stadium, was that the radio signal we use, KLAA, has the largest signal. It's about as big as KFI's in Southern California.
50,000 watts.
So we're getting calls from all the way to the Midwest, Utah. Remember, Nick?
Yeah, on a clear night, that signal would travel to Utah.
To Salt Lake, Park City, because we get calls from those areas too, man. It was crazy. It was nuts. But we learned a lot about the Midwest, John. Coach, people actually go out and fish for their dinner in Utah. We never knew that. We'd see this guy would send us pictures. He'd give us a call and then send us photos of himself in his backyard hunting and stuff, fishing. It was crazy. It was interesting. We don't live like that, John.
No, not anymore.
Packaged.
But we got a lot of crazy things sent to us. So that caller used to actually call us on the radio because that voice was very familiar to me.
Well, he just said he used to work at the liquor bank. Now
That's our guy.
At the Juju's, he said, or whatever he's
That's
working
our
at
guy
Juju
right
now.
there. Well, call us 213-283-7798.
That guy's interesting because he would always give us an update on what the USC guys were doing because they were all hanging out in that area, and some UCLA players too. A lot of guys from that area.
Juju Smith-Schuster used to hang out there all the time, remember?
When he went to USC.
Yep.
Yeah. Interesting reports, though, fellas. All right. So, Carlos, what do you got, man? What's going on with soccer? Your kid's doing all right, right? He's a pro player now?
We're taking steps. We just got back from a showcase in Naples 2 weeks ago and getting ready to go to Dallas. And right after that, we're going to North Carolina Combine out there and, just give them opportunities.
You're kind of like you're kind of like Davidson over there, right? You got your coaching stuff, but you're still getting your kids going.
Yeah, I'm very, very busy with the coaching and obviously soccer and trying to keep abreast of what's going on out here in the high desert. But we're finally looking like we're getting ready to get a season in mid-March. But the biggest problem that we've been seeing is, especially in California, because there's nothing going on. All these teams are going out to Arizona or Nevada or
Florida,
to play
Florida,
out there.
Florida.
Yeah, or Florida, exactly.
That's where Davidson's at.
So the risk is higher if you travel. Yes, it could be. But the problem is, out of the state of California, and so now we got to travel and go to these states, and it's affecting a lot of kids out in California, Southern California.
Now, Dan, I like learning.
And it's not just.
I like learning something.
It's not just soccer; it's baseball, football, all that stuff.
We like learning something every time we're on the air. Now watch this. So, Carlos, when's the World Cup start? When's that start up again?
Which one, men or women?
Men.
You know what? I'd rather watch women's play.
You don't know when the World Cup starts, do you?
Yeah, it's going to start whenever. I don't know.
Sorry, Dan. I tried to teach you something, brother.
Whatever it is.
Is that the soccer guy?
I thought you were a soccer coach or a
Is that
pro.
the soccer guy?
Don't you know when the Super Bowl is?
Yeah.
All right. It's February next year.
Super Bowl's easy. Now,
Why is it? No, it's tough, man. Do you know how hard it is to get back there? Only Tom Brady's been back there 10 times. He's the only guy.
That's ridiculous. That means every other year in his career he's been to the Super Bowl. That's just
Do you realize when
ridiculous.
Dr. Jerry Buss took over the Lakers that the Lakers went to the finals on average every other season that he owned the team? Incredible.
That's pretty good.
Every other year, John.
Wow.
Me and Jerry West were pulling all the strings on all those trades, too. He'd give me a call and we'd straighten them out. But very interesting stuff going on. So, the question now, there's the number if you guys want to call again or somebody else wants to call.
You can't top that call.
Yeah, I don't know if you can top that last caller. How long do you think this skid's going to continue with the Lakers? Will they be able to figure it out without AD? Do you think that'll happen? Anybody can take that question.
I think they're going to get by until AD
they
gets
will.
back.
They're not getting by, John.
They
They're
are-
1-5.
They're going to get by just fine. They're not going to take that much of a skid. They still have LeBron James. And look, we were talking about Kyle Kuzma before we had our riveting phone call come in. We were talking about Kyle Kuzma. Kyle Kuzma is playing a complete basketball game. I mean, he's rebounding. He's doing things off the ball. This is a different Kyle Kuzma. So you've got guys like him that will step up, and the Lakers are going to be fine. Look, they're going to win some. They're going to lose some. When Anthony Davis is back, when Dennis Schroeder's back, that team's going to click, and they're going to be just fine. They've just hit a rough patch without AD.
I think there's plenty of basketball left, so there's no reason to panic right now. I don't think.
There's plenty of reason to panic if AD can't get back to being AD. That's the problem. I don't care about right now. They can go to the All-Star break and let them rest and all this stuff, but what if this lingers on? What's plan B? Do the Lakers even have a plan B?
That's a problem. That
Just
is the
because
problem.
this isn't something. This injury isn't something new for AD. This is something that's lingering. This is something that may not go away right away, and it may not. And remember, this is a truncated season. It's a lot shorter season. It's what, 11 games shorter, John? Mm-hmm. 11 games shorter, and that's like a month. You don't play every night, so that's like a month. It's going to be shorter, so he's going to have less time before they get to the finals.
But this is also a nagging injury, too.
And don't forget, the Lakers played more games last year than any other team. They played all the way to the finals, which was unusual for them. They're well rested.
Remember this, the Lakers. The Lakers always do whatever it takes to compete for a national championship. I mean, and in their case, winning an NBA championship. That they always do. That's what they do. They're going to make a splash, whether it's Andrew Drummond or someone like that. They're going to go out and get another guy that can go rebound and help them rebound. Obviously, rim protector, rebounder type of guy. And the Lakers are going to be fine. They're going to play the Clippers in round 2, knock them out, and then if the Jazz are still in it, they'll knock them out, and hopefully they'll be playing the Brooklyn Nets and get it done.
So we're going to get our hallway series that we all wanted so much last year. We all wanted that hallway series so bad last year, man.
The Clippers and the Lakers
The
is what John's
Clippers
referring
were
to.
talking so much smack, and they didn't make it.
Paul George, that's a tough guy, man. That was a tough series for him, especially that Game 7, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Well, you know what? Paul George still doesn't have a champion behind his name anywhere. And I don't know what the big deal is about Paul George is. He's all right, but he's not, Kawhi Leonard. He's not LeBron James. He's not even Anthony Davis. He has never won a ring before. So I don't know what all the hype is. I'd rather have a guy that's won a ring, with all the hype coming in. I don't know if the Clippers can get over it. I don't know if they can get past the Lakers. Number one, they will without Anthony Davis. But I don't know if they'll be able to, get to the finals and win. I don't think they can. I don't think they'll be able to beat Brooklyn. Brooklyn does have a real big three. It's a big problem for the NBA.
You think Lakers will try to go after somebody to help replace AD while he's injured, or
I don't think there's anybody out there they can really get. I mean,
looking for somebody else?
it'd be a lot of finagling. You'd have to give up something to a team that has nothing to lose and will, pick your pocket.
Who are you going to get, though? I mean, who are you going to get that even spells AD? Nobody.
You get Tom Brady.
Yeah, Tom Brady could probably do it. But look, you're not going to be able to just go plug and play with, hey, let me plug you in for Anthony Davis. It doesn't work that way. It's going to be about all these other guys stepping up. And, maybe they'll add a complimentary piece, but you don't just replace AD. And this injury, again, this is one of those non-contact things. So he really needs to just take his time coming back, or like Rich said, he won't even be playing in the playoffs. So Let him take his time. Who cares if the Lakers drop 20
Yep.
games this season? They're going to get in and probably win if he's healthy.
I've seen this before. This is not
plenty of
new.
time.
You got that nagging injury from a super. This is not some definitive injury that happened like an Achilles snapped or you snapped an ACL. This is one of those injuries that you never know when it's going to heal, and when it heals, you don't know when it's going to come back and visit you. That's the problem. So I don't know. We'll see what happens, but right now it doesn't look good. We got a few minutes left. Going to give guys a parting shot. Let's start with Carlos Pena. Carlos, what do you got?
Not much, really. I'm ready to get back out there.
Yeah, I know it's got to
Let's get
suck
this
right
going.
now. I got it. I get it. I get it.
Ready to go.
Right. Coach Davidson, I know you got a lot going on in your mind. I just cannot imagine, you're in Florida right now. I'm sure you're going to be back by Monday, but, man, I'm sure you'd rather be back at the homestead right now working on X's and O's and what you're going to do and how you're going to do it.
Well, my parting shot is to CIF adjusting to the schedules continuously and getting out of the way and allowing a chance for these seniors to have a senior year. And I think that they've done a tremendous job when people were trying to put different seasons, different times, different things, and they took away the playoff games, which was really big for the calendar, in order to give a chance for a lot more sports to be able to play. And I definitely, my parting shot's a shout out to them to allow so many kids to have a chance to enjoy their senior year in high school.
And that's great. Again, we didn't think it was going to happen. I thought for sure we were going to wait till next year. Not next year, but, come back in August, September possibly, and see what happens. So I'm really glad that everybody's getting an opportunity. As far as the city section goes, I do not believe any city schools are going to play, but there are 6 charter schools out in the valley that will play. Camino Real comes to mind, is definitely got a 6-game schedule they're looking at finishing out. So there's a very few schools in the city section. I'm not sure if it's because these schools that are going to play are charter schools. They're private schools, so they don't really have to go by the same rules as the city section schools, which are funded by the LA Unified School District. So there's a little different set of rules, kind of like there is in the southern sections with the private and the public schools. There's different rules for everybody. John, what do you know? What do you say, brother?
Well, what I know is not much, and what I say is, look, speedy recovery to Tiger Woods. Prayers go out to him and his family. Coach Davidson, it was awesome having you. We're hoping that you get that Florida Gators job. But if not, go Western High, man. We're rooting for you.
That's
and
right,
Carlos,
baby.
let us know more on that World Cup. You need to give a more detailed report next time.
And I got to
2022.
tell you something. I was talking with Coach last week, and here's the sticking point with him and taking that job in Florida. He's going to have to take a pay cut.
Yeah, he can't.
Kind
do
of like
that.
Marcus Allen did when he left USC to play for the
He
Raiders. He
did.
had to take a pay
Tom
cut.
Flores told us that too. So.
John Robinson confirmed it.
Just go back, Coach. Leave right now. Just go to Western. You'll be fine.
Yeah, go back to the home of Tiger, baby. You guys play like Tigers, that's for sure. All right, guys. Thanks, Carlos. Thanks, Coach, for joining us. I'd like to thank everybody for joining us tonight. I think going forward, John, we will be taking calls. We just wanted to test the lines tonight. Glad the guys.
That was
guys
the
came.
perfect call. Because I think he was our last call on Angels Radio, and he was our first call here. So someone's following us, but that's okay. We'll take it. It was fun.
Oh, it's floated. Hey, my mic floated, dude. They left me on camera.
better than your head floating.
They left me on camera while this. Yeah, it's better than my head floating right now. All right, John, I want to say that's it, babies. We'll be back next week on behalf. Oh, wait a minute. Are we changing up next week, or is it next week? Is it the week after
No,
that?
it is next week, Rich.
We got one more Friday. That's our last Friday.
We're going Thursdays now.
All right, so it looks like the SoCal Prep Report will be back. Is it next Thursday we're back, Larry, with that? Okay, so the SoCal Prep Report is next Thursday. Coach Davidson, maybe you can join us there again. If you have time, give us an update next Thursday, 7 o'clock. We hope we can get you.
Always available for you, Rich.
Right on, I appreciate that. Maybe we can get you on the field. Probably be on the field, but those phones work. You can do interviews anywhere nowadays. So
There you go.
so we'll be back next Thursday. We're going to be back next Thursday for what, the next 5 or 6 weeks? Because high school football is going to be televised here, LA 36. That's our main outlet here, LA 36. And then the rest of you guys are seeing us on Facebook, YouTube, and all the rest of the platforms. And if you're on those platforms, give us a like, give us a subscription, because it helps us build this channel. And but we get a pretty big audience at 36, John. Really appreciative to have be on LA 36 with this program. All right, on behalf of Carlos Pena, Dan Davidson, and John Conti over here in this corner, I'm Rich Estrella saying so long from your friends here at the Sports Corner. Good night, everybody.